Have you ever thought about how AI is changing healthcare? It's something we're hearing about more and more these days. Today, we're going to look at how it's transforming orthodontics.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. And actually, Dr. Baxman, a real expert in the field, recently talked about all this in detail, highlighting some amazing advances.
Right, that's what we'll be focusing on today, exploring the ways AI is changing orthodontic imaging, from X-rays to the latest 3D tech.
Yeah, we tend to think of those cephalometric x-rays, the ones that show the skull from the side, are pretty basic, but even those are being improved by AI, as Dr. Baxman pointed out.
Right, it's not that the X-rays are actually changing, but AI is coming in and analyzing and enhancing the info we get from them.
Exactly. The software, like SmartGrid, can actually make those x-rays clearer, so orthodontists can see things that might have been missed before.
Dr. Baxman specifically mentioned the possibility of spotting hidden problems like cysts or tumors, which is pretty amazing.
It's like AI is giving orthodontists a way more powerful way to look at those images. And then there are those apps that can analyze those x-rays right on your phone.
Identifying landmarks and calculating angles.
It really shows you how accessible this technology is getting, putting these powerful tools right in the hands of healthcare professionals. And what's really interesting is how this goes beyond just analyzing those traditional images. Dr. Baxman also talked about how orthodontics is moving beyond just looking at your bite. It's considering your whole facial profile now.
And that's where 3D imaging comes in, right?
3D scanners are becoming more common, and some, like the ones from Atomica-AI, is combining scanning with AI.
This lets orthodontists create super accurate models of a patient's mouth.
And I imagine that level of accuracy is especially useful for planning treatments like clear aligners.
With AI, orthodontists can predict things like how many aligners a person might need for the best results.
And it's a level of precision that just wasn't possible before.
So we're seeing AI improve traditional X-rays and power those 3D scans. What about CBCT scans? I know those are like 3D X-rays, providing even more detail.
Dr. Baxman discussed how CBCT scans are getting this major AI boost.
These scans provide a ton of information, but it can be really overwhelming for orthodontists to analyze. AI is acting like this super-powered assistant in this area, able to pinpoint anatomical structures and flag potential issues that might need attention all super fast.
AI is really streamlining that analysis and faster and a lot more accurate.
Dr. Baxman highlighted specific programs like NewTom and DiagnoCat that are putting this AI power into practice, changing how orthodontists use CBCT scans.
It's amazing how AI is impacting every part of this field, from the way images are captured to the way they're analyzed.
Dr. Baxman even talked about how something as simple as taking pictures of your teeth is getting an AI makeover.
It shows the trend of efficiency that AI is bringing to orthodontics. AI can sort through those photos quickly, saving orthodontists a lot of time.
And then there's stereophotogrammetry, which Dr. Baxman also talked about. It's a technique that uses two photos to create a 3D image. AI is making this process more accurate, refining the information orthodontists work with even more.
So it seems like AI is really refining every aspect of orthodontic imaging.
Why should someone sitting in the orthodontist chair care about all this? What does it mean for them?
Dr. Baxman emphasized that this isn't just about cool technology for the sake of technology. AI is leading to more precise diagnoses, more personalized treatment plans, and ultimately better outcomes for patients.
So what does that look like in practice?
Well, more accurate diagnoses can mean fewer unnecessary procedures, less time in braces, and fewer surprises during treatment. It's about making the whole experience smoother and more effective. And it's not just the clinical stuff. AI is also making the whole orthodontic experience more patient-friendly, like those 3D scanners we were talking about.
They're replacing those messy, uncomfortable molds that nobody likes.
That's a huge improvement for patients right there.
Right.
So what else did Dr. Baxman say about how this technology is improving things for patients?
He talked about how AI-powered analysis can let orthodontists show patients realistic simulations of what their treatment could look like.
So patients can see what their smile might look like before they even start treatment. That's pretty amazing.
It takes away a lot of the guesswork and anxiety. Dr. Baxman was saying it's all about transparency and giving patients the information they need to make good decisions about their care.
It sounds like AI is really transforming orthodontics in every way. We talked about AI enhancing those traditional x-rays. Can you maybe talk about that a little more? I'm curious about the specifics of what Dr. Baxman was saying.
Dr. Baxman was emphasizing how AI is taking these x-rays, which have been essential in orthodontics for so long, and getting even more value out of them.
It's not just about seeing the images more clearly, although that's a big plus. It's about how AI can analyze them in ways that just weren't possible before.
So AI is not just seeing more, it's like understanding more. What does that mean, practically speaking?
Now AI algorithms can identify those landmarks on the x-rays. measure angles and distances, and even find subtle anomalies that a human eye might miss.
It's like AI is giving us a whole new level of understanding from these familiar tools.
Exactly. And that leads to more accurate and personalized diagnosis and treatment planning.
What really stood out to you from what Dr. Baxmann said about that?
He was really excited about the way AI is being integrated into 3D imaging. Those 3D scanners from Atomica-AI is a great example. They don't just capture a 3D image, they use AI to analyze that image and create this super detailed model of the patient's mouth.
What are the benefits of having that much detail?
It's really important for planning treatments, especially for things like clear aligners. AI can analyze that 3D model and predict how the teeth might respond to treatment, which means more accurate and efficient aligner therapy.
It sounds like it's taking a lot of the guesswork out.
It's all about making treatment more predictable and personalized, which means better results.
Okay, so we've covered X-rays and 3D imaging. Dr. Baxmann also talked about how AI is changing those detailed CBCT scans. And can you walk us through that a little bit?
CBCT scans give this really detailed view of the skull and teeth, but they produce so much data that it can be really hard for orthodontists to go through it all.
That's where AI comes in. AI algorithms can analyze all that data, identify key structures, and flag any potential problems much faster than a person could.
So it's like AI is giving orthodontists a way to make sense of all that information quickly and efficiently.
Right, and not just process it, but actually get meaningful insights from it.
AI can pinpoint things like jaw growth discrepancies, impacted teeth, and even differences in tooth size and shape.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like AI is a detective, finding clues in those scans that might have been missed.
Those clues are really important for putting together a good treatment plan.
It's amazing how much information AI can get from these images. So we've talked about X-rays, 3D scans, and CBCT scans. Did Dr. Baxmann mention any other areas where AI is being used in orthodontic imaging?
He briefly talked about AI being used in facial photography and stereophotogrammetry.
It might seem surprising, but even something as simple as taking photos of a patient's face is being improved by AI.
What does AI do when it comes to analyzing facial photographs? I imagine orthodontists take a lot of those.
Oh yeah, they do. AI can make analyzing those photos a lot easier. It can quickly sort and categorize them, identify important facial features, and even detect little asymmetries that could be important for treatment planning.
So it sounds like AI is taking care of a lot of the tedious, time-consuming tasks and freeing up orthodontists to focus on the more complex stuff.
That's a good point. And then there's stereophotogrammetry, which Dr. Baxmann also talked about. It's a technique for making 3D images from two photos.
AI is making this process more accurate, which gives us even more precise 3D models of the face.
That's really interesting. So we've seen how AI is improving every step of orthodontic imaging, from taking the pictures to analyzing them in detail. What I'm getting from all this is that AI isn't just some futuristic idea.
It's being used right now to improve patient care and results.
You got it. And like Dr. Baxmann said, this is just the beginning. As AI technology keeps getting better, we can expect to see even more amazing applications in orthodontics.
It's definitely an exciting time to be following these developments.
Speaking of exciting developments, I think it's time to move on to our last part of the discussion, where we'll talk about the bigger implications of AI in orthodontics and what it all means for patients like you. Okay, so we spent a lot of time on the tech side of things, but I think it's important to step back and think about what it all means for the patient sitting in the chair.
What are the real benefits they can expect to see from all this AI in orthodontics?
Dr. Baxmann really made it clear that AI is making treatment more precise and personalized, and that really impacts the whole patient experience.
So it's not just fancy tech for no reason.
And it's actually making a real difference in people's lives. Yeah. Can you give us some real-world examples of what that looks like?
Think about a world where diagnoses and orthodontics are so accurate that we don't need to do unnecessary procedures anymore. That's what AI is making possible.
More accurate diagnoses mean less time in braces, fewer surprise adjustments, and ultimately better results.
That's a huge plus for patients, right? Nobody wants to be wearing braces longer than they have to. And it sounds like AI is helping to make the whole thing go smoother and faster.
And because AI can predict things, it can help orthodontists see potential problems before they happen so they can adjust the treatment plan ahead of time.
So we've talked about how AI can make things more accurate and efficient, but I'm curious about the cost side of things.
Does AI affect how much orthodontic treatment costs?
AI technology itself doesn't directly lower the cost of materials or lab fees, but because it makes things more efficient, it can definitely have an impact on the overall cost.
So you can see that fewer appointments, less time spent on diagnosis and planning, Well, that adds up.
And as AI becomes even more integrated into how orthodontists do things, we can expect to see even more benefits in terms of cost savings down the road.
It's exciting to think about how AI could make orthodontic care more accessible and effective for everyone. Dr. Baxman mentioned how AI is improving the patient experience, and we talked about those 3D scanners replacing those awful molds.
Were there any other things he highlighted about the patient experience?
He talked about how AI is making communication better between orthodontists and patients. With AI-powered analysis, orthodontists can create super realistic simulations of what the patient's smile might look like after treatment.
Patients can see a preview of their results before they commit to a treatment plan.
That's amazing. I bet that would be reassuring for anyone thinking about getting orthodontic treatment.
It takes away a lot of the uncertainty and really lets patients be involved in making decisions about their care.
So it's really incredible to see how technology is being used to make the whole orthodontic journey better, from that first diagnosis to the final result. As we're wrapping up here, what would you say is the most important takeaway for our listeners about AI and orthodontics?
I think the big takeaway is that AI isn't something way off in the future.
It's here right now, and it's already making a difference for orthodontic patients. It's leading to better diagnoses, more personalized treatments, and ultimately, healthier, happier smiles. And who doesn't love a healthy, happy smile? It's clear that AI is going to completely change the world of orthodontics.
It's really interesting to think about what other advancements might be just around the corner. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of AI-driven orthodontics. We hope you found it informative and interesting.